I honestly can't believe that I put paint in my hair. Just for this character, man. Ugh. But Rich is my favorite, so I had to give him some spotlight. Yo, what is up? Welcome back to a Be More Chill book versus musical. I've been planning this book versus musical part 2 for a while now, but I was waiting for the comments in the first one to be more chill, so I didn't miss anything. Don't say the name, you're blowing it. Yeah, getting back into it. Today we're going to cover what I missed, what you guys felt I should elaborate on, as well as present a fun little surprise after that's all taken care of. A fun surprise? Where are they? Kindergartners? They've most likely read the title by now. Ignore my squip. You don't want to do that, Rich. You remember what happened last time? Anyway, let's get to it. Alright, so as of when I'm filming this, there are 99 comments. Now some do repeat themselves, but there are some very good points within those comments. We're gonna get right to it. So this comment was one of the first really insightful comments that I got. It is pinned to the video, it is hearted. It's the first one you'll see. It's very in-depth, it's like 3 paragraphs. And I really appreciated this person coming up and writing this, and I really liked the feedback that they gave. They're kind of what inspired me, like, even though it was like really early on after I posted it. It was one of the first things that inspired me that I need to do a part 2 to this to talk about this more. They make the point that one of the most significant book to show differences is neglecting to talk about how white and straight the book is. Now, in the first like rendition of this, I did talk about how in the book Michael is this white kid with an afro, a skinny white kid, and how they changed it like, hey, here's George Salazar, who's not a skinny white kid with an afro, and they kind of changed the character around Michael, and they also changed the ethnicity of a couple other characters. I think like most notably Christine. There is a big lack of representation in this book, and I think a big part of it, both in ethnicity and in sexuality and sexual orientation, and I believe a big part of it is just because of when it was written. This book is from way back in 2004, and things were so different with just everything back in 2004. Even though it was only, 13 years ago? The world was such a different place 13 years ago. I mean, so much has changed. Obviously, we've progressed forward with LGBTQ rights, with different, more representation has come through with the passage of time, and that's rad. But when we look back at this book, it shows, it's one of the examples of how kind of closed off we were. Like in the book when, there's a line someone brought up, I'm not sure if it was this person because I'm not looking at the quote right now, at their comment right now, but one of the quotes from the book is, if I walk like that, I'll look gay. The gayer you look, the better. And it's like, that's something we wouldn't really say nowadays, because it could be considered offensive. And back then, it was still considered offensive, but it was just like this more like, people didn't care about being... How do I say this? It was a different time period where different things were more acceptable than they are now. And it's good that some of these things are not as acceptable anymore because they're not as discriminatory. You know what I mean? I hope you know what I mean. I'm confusing myself here. I'm really sorry, guys. You're talking too much. Okay, I'm gonna take another quote from their comment. Okay. Like any work of fiction that relies on white people for a compelling narrative, the Be More Chill novel pretty efficiently alienates a lot of readers. This especially is true when you add on Michael's weird Asian girl fetish, which, yeah, in the book he did have a weird thing for Asian girls, as well as in the book Jeremy was a furry. He had a thing for tails. That's something I'm glad they took out of the musical rendition, because it was weird. It was like really weird. I mean, just like with the casting of Christine with Stephanie, I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name, and I don't want to butcher it. In the book, they were all white. There were no like Asian characters, or no like there were some racist, kind of racy remarks, kind of not racy remarks. There was some stereotyping in there when there were mentions of characters that weren't whites. There were some stereotypes, and again, that comes from the time period that it came from. I'm not trying to excuse these acts, but it was a different time period where like there was less political correctness. Is that the right term I'm looking for? There was less of that, and it was less kind of regulated, like, hey, maybe you should try not to sound racist. You know what I mean? But yeah, it was such a cool thing that they brought in. They decided, hey, you know what? Why don't we make Christine someone of Asian descent? Or why not let's completely remake Michael Mel's character and bring in George Salazar and like let him bring new life into this character. Another quote, because they word things really well and I can be terrible at wording. I mean, could the casting be more chill, be less white? Sure, but is it a step in a good direction and a significant conversation starter of a step at that? Absolutely. As I already discussed before, it was from this quote. The book kind of uses gay people for humor with no payoff, which is an issue that the musical thankfully rectifies. As they put here, they're just accepted as part of the common mindset of the time, which yes was 2004, but that's flimsy excuse for microaggressions. That's for microaggressions. And they're very right. It's a small excuse, but again, it was a different time period. Like, things have changed for the better, and that's good. We now get a version of this story that is more, we now get a version of the story that kind of plays out to a wider audience and can, like, be relatable to more people. Another quote, however, the musical managed to turn on its head by confirming Rich's bisexuality again. The jokes still happen, from boyfriends to the reaction when Jeremy signs up for the play. This is made up for by the fact that Rich, after his close encounter with death, realizes the error of his ways and the truth about his own sexuality. And when I first reading the book, I didn't really think about the characters. When I heard the musical first, I was introduced to the musical first through a lovely animator whose name slips my mind right now. But they did recreate an animation of Michael in the bathroom with their OCs. And I heard that song and I'm like, hey, this is really good. And then I listened to the musical and here was where we are, okay? So when I went to the book, I never, like, the characters were described a certain way on the page, but I was kind of picturing the characters from the musical. I mean, yeah, Michael changed for me because, like, oh, this is like a skinny white boy now. Well, that's not George Salazar, but they kind of blended, but at the same time they didn't. You know what I mean? Like, that was the one character I could, like, distinguish, like, hey, they really changed him from the two renditions, not just in kind of, like, character, but, like, also in, like, description and everything else. And you think about these things as you're reading, like, yeah, there were some comments where it's like, that's how you can tell how, like, that this is an older book. Oh man, what am I saying? And I didn't really think about these things when I first reading it. And when this person commented and left, like, this, like, big description, it made me go back and really think of, like, got my gears turning and really thinking about, like, a lot of the even bigger differences outside of what I listed down in the video, like, being the sexualities and the, I don't even know where I was because I got a phone call, like, right in the middle of that. And it really kind of put it in perspective for me. So, thank you so much. I haven't even gone through all of your comment because it was just, I really recommend, I'll leave the link down in the description to the original video. I will also leave, like, a little icons at the end of the video, take you back there. But I really recommend you check out this person's comment because it was really insightful. It really brought a lot of points to the surface. They had a lot of strong points. And I'm really glad they found the video so, like, we could have this conversation. I know I'm rambly and it's hard to get things out because things get stuck in my head. And it can be hard to kind of get the right things out sometimes. But this person really nailed it, and thank you so much. To conclude their comments, so we can move on to the other comments, they believe that the musical created a safer environment than the book did, with its different representations of both race and the minorities and sexualities. And it really did. It had much better representation. It was much less kind of like playing off it for, like, real fun with no payoff. And it was a very nice comparison, and thank you so much for your comment. The next comment from Christelle, I don't know how to pronounce the last name. The masturbation scene, where Jeremy wasn't masturbating to Michael, he was just multitasking. Bye, boy. As some of you may or may not know, that was in regards to the infamous page 80, which, if you haven't read it, or you haven't read the book and you don't know about page 80, I read it on YouTube. There'll be an icon that pops up, you'll see a little eye, and that will link you to the video where you can pause this one, go check out page 80, because I read it straight out for you guys, dressed as Jeremy, because I love y'all and I want you to experience it. Because not everybody's been able to get the books or get their hands on the book, which that may be solved towards the end of the video, but you gotta stay tuned. If you've watched for this long after my other rambles, again, I'm sorry. Pip! This is like their name on here. And don't feel picky for saying this. I invited criticism, I invited all these comments, and there were things that I missed, like this. Actually, both of Jake's legs were broken in the musical. So I don't know if that's just because I wasn't listening good enough, or I just kind of looped my mind. But yeah, both of Jake's legs were broken in the musical, and I believe I said something along the lines like he wasn't really hurt in the musical or something like that. But no, both his legs were broken in the musical. That was my bad. Thank you so much for pointing that out to me. Thanks. Remember that time in the book where Jeremy was watching some kind of show, so he called Michael up and the two girls in the show about to fight? I don't remember if it was specifically fighting, but While fighting, one of the girls' nipples was shown, so Michael turns on this thing he got from this other states that removes the censor bar, and Jeremy was all jealous, and Michael got to see all the fun. So yeah, in the book, there's this scene, they're on the phone with each other, and they're watching the same thing on TV, and the girl's shirt comes off, they have the censor bar, but Michael's like, hold up, I can watch this shit without the bars. Once again, 2004, bros and their shows. Yeah. The book is very different from the musical. Very. Now, I do have a comment here that says the musical isn't really based on the book, the play is, but it was still different from the musical, more based on the play. And on their official Facebook, I don't want to, like, start anything, but, like, on their official Facebook page for the Be More Chill musical, it does say that it was based on the book. I know there is a play version of this out there. You guys have left me comments. I really need to check it out. Like, thank you guys for pointing that out, because I've seen it, but I haven't been able to check it out yet, just because so much stuff has been going on. But no, the musical is based on the book. Check out the official Facebook page. I'll leave a link down below. It says in the description that it's based on the book. That there's just a lot changed. Like, things can be based on a lot of things, and it's like, very loosely. It's a very loose term because, like, they changed a lot. They adapted it to them. They adapted it to they made it their own with this adaptation. Like the play, I assume, because you guys have told me it takes, like, the Beanie Baby scene, my favorite scene from the book. You guys have told me that happens in the play, just not the musical. So, jabber, 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 stop. And that's one of the creative changes that they decided to make when they decided to take this project and make it their own. And hey, it's awesome. I just wish that there had been a song about Jeremy stealing Beanie Babies from his aunt. Oh yes, the note scene. So in the book, Jeremy is accused of writing a note to Christine. He overhears the popular girls talking, and they're like, "Did you hear about this loser who's, like, stalking Christine and sending her all these notes?" Well, in the play, or in the musical, I should say, he actually did write Christine the note, as we know in the opening song, but he tore it up and flushed it. Still progress. But in the book, it was just a rumor, and Jeremy was like, "Oh God, oh no, they can't think that I did that, can they?" And yeah. Another thing, you guys wanted, like, some of you guys were asking me, like, "Hey, where did you get your Michael Mel sweater?" Because in the first video, I cosplayed as Michael. Fun fact, that shirt, that was just an Elmo shirt that I turned around backwards. I got a piece of paper, I colored the rainbow flag, and I taped it to my arm. All of the clothes that I've worn for these videos as different musical characters are just clothes that I have, like, laying around, or I painted. Like with the Jeremy Here shirt, that was a white shirt, I literally painted the stripes on it for the video, dressing as Jeremy. My other Michael Mel shirt for the Creeps shirt that I used for my entry into the Be More Chill contest, that one I literally just had a black t-shirt and I painted it again because I didn't know where to find these things. I didn't have money to buy these things if I could find them. So I had to improvise. Even Rich's shirt right now is just a tie-dyed Star Wars shirt. And like I said like earlier, I just put paint in my hair to emulate the tide. So it's a lot of it is just putting things together out of what I have. That's it. Like, I love dressing up as these characters. I love being these characters. And, like, why not? I just kind of took my own adaptation for them. I don't want to discuss the endings. Like, just like with the last video, I don't want to really spoil the ending. Like, there are be wary of comments that will talk about the ending. But let me just tell you that the ending in the musical is very different from the ending in the book. It's two very different endings, and it's two very different opinions on how it should have been, how one is better than the other. I personally like both endings. At times, I'm really leaning towards liking the book endings better because it was really cool. But because of the whole making the musical their own, if they had kept that ending for the play, it wouldn't have made sense with the story. So I'm glad with the change. I think both endings work with their respective stories. But again, it's all up to opinion, so basically, the musical is just a lot gayer. And you're right, friend. You're very right. Up, down, left, right, A! Up, down, left, right, B-A, start! Oh god, I'm trying to say that fast, I don't think I did. I noticed some differences, like the entire thing. Don't you call me out, B-A to fall. No, but I laughed when you commented that, so I'm only mentioning this now because I cracked up when I saw that. It's like, fucking same, drag me! In the musical, it's mentioned that Jeremy uses his bar mitzvah money to pay for the squip. And that was another thing I kind of missed. I don't know if it's because I was I don't know where I was. But yeah, in the book, he uses the money from the Beanie Babies he steals. And in the musical, he apparently uses bat mitzvah money because the squip is expensive and he got to pay the listed price. So that's some of the differences in where he got his money. And there have been questions about the cover. I have a hardcover copy, and it has this cover with the mask on it, and screaming in the school hallway. There's about 3 or 4 different covers for this book. There is one with a black silhouette of a head, and kind of stuff like that. There's the character of Jeremy here with words all around him, and there's the one I have, and I believe there's one other one. There's a lot, all the covers are really nice. I honestly wanted the one with all the words around him so bad, but the one I have is the one I could find, and I'm still happy with it because it's the book. I can see why he would change it. 1, the musical would be too long. 2, it would be shut down because it would be way too PG-13. And that was from Nick D'Angelo. And you're right. There's good reasons why they changed so much. And yeah, I agree with you, dude. Who's the author? The author of Be More Chill is Ned Vizzini, and the guy who did the musical is Joe Iconis. Where did you get your book from? There are copies on Book Depository, which is a great service that offers you get free shipping when you get the book. I believe it's about $9 on Book Depository, and you can also find it on Amazon for whatever price because there's always different prices for things. But Book Depository and Amazon are the two major places that you can find it. I don't know. I've talked to some people who have haven't been able to find it through Barnes & Noble, so I can't say if it's there or not. I've looked. I haven't found it there. But Book Depository and Amazon, you can find Be More Chill. Yeah, here's another thing. Jeremy and Michael spent a good amount of time staring at girls' knees and calves. Kind of a weird kind of kink thing that happened in the book along the line. I don't know. It was kind of weird. I don't know. I really don't know what to say about it. I mean, it was just kind of weird. So my dad drinks too. He was lying so that they could be friends. Yeah, that was the whole thing. Because the squips can talk to each other. So Jeremy. You're trailing off again. Sorry about that. My script interrupted. It wants to move on to what most of you guys are probably really here for. I know a lot of you haven't been able to read the book, or you haven't been able to get the book, whether it be because you can't get on Amazon because you don't have a card, you can't find it at your local bookstore, whatever. I have a proposition for you. Do you want a copy of the book? Yeah, like I said, this is the cover that I really wanted, and I didn't have a chance to get it before I got my own copy. But I do have that copy now, and even as much as I want to keep it, I am giving it away. Like, so many of you guys haven't read the book, and you really want to, and I want more people to experience this book and to, look at the differences and just, kind of get more into it, you know? It's fun to, play these compare and contrast games and to think, wow, that's a really interesting change from the adaptations. That's really cool. This is really cool. Wow. It's something that you guys should, you guys that want to experience should experience. So I'm going to be holding a giveaway for this book. I'm going to be giving this to one of you guys. It's really cool. All you have to do, all I'm really asking for in this, it's going to be a random drawing. All I'm asking is that you, 1, subscribe, and then number 2, go down below and either tell me your favorite scene from the musical or your favorite song from the musical and explain to me why it's your favorite. Tell me, who your favorite character is. Tell me something you really love about this musical, this book. My voice is doing weird things, I apologize. Share this video, give it a thumbs up. I want as many people to have the chance at this book as possible. And this giveaway will last until October 1st, which is, I should really check my calendar to when that is, whether it's going to be an upload day or not. But you know what, we'll go off schedule for this, because that's on October 1st, I will announce who wins this copy of Be More Chill. And this is the Today Show Book Club edition. It is, I believe this is one of the first covers that they did, since, like I said, there's about 3 or 4 covers. I think this is the first rendition of the cover, and it's really awesome. See, I caught it before it fell. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video today. I hope you guys, enter this giveaway. I wish you good luck. I want you to win this. I know it's going to be a random drawing because I'm going to do the whole number thing. I want it to be fair, but I also want, you guys to share your experiences with the musical or the play or anything about this, because it's such a huge, it's such a cool, thing, talking about musicals, talking about how these different things impact us, talk about theater kids, talk about how, you can perform things from it, what you've learned from it, things you've, connected with from it, from the different renditions. I just want to talk about it. And let's start a conversation, you guys. I mean, let's get this going. Yo, you have a month to win this book, a chance, a whole month. So get people going, get the conversation rolling. All you have to do is subscribe and leave a comment about how it's impacted you, how it's affected you, what your favorite, whatever. I wish you the best of luck. I have confidence I'll be able to easily enter. The script doesn't even have that much confidence in me. Me! And it's my script! That's all I've got for you guys today. I wish you the best of luck in winning this copy. The winner will be contacted after being announced on October 1st. I hope you have a lovely day / night, and peace out!